Hey everyone, this is Mark from Stocks and Cash. It's the 22nd of January 2018. Here to give you a late night market update, go over my positions and some potential setups for tomorrow. So let's jump right in with the SPY. So the SPY had a really powerful bullish candle today, holding up with this trend line. It pretty much smashed through our target here of 280.84, and quite honestly, I mean, the market's looking strong. It would be nice to have some kind of pullback to kind of, have a little buy-in spot. Um, but if you're not in it, I would caution you getting in now. With this trend line, without any real sort of pullback, it's really hard to advise anyone to get in at this point. But then again, we could just continue on running. I mean, the market does what it does. MACD is still bullish, but if you look at the RSI and the Stokes, they're extremely overbought. Volume was probably average, well, maybe a little above average. Um, I would just caution you getting in long at this point. Um, but if you have positions that you're already long in, then you might want to start trimming. But certainly keep an eye on what the overall market's doing. I think we need some kind of pullback or a sideways movement, to hopefully sustain this continued uptrend. It's just really hard to predict where it's going to go from here. Again, certainly not predicting a crash or anything, but just keep in mind that the indicators here, the Stokes and the RSI, are very overextended. So it wouldn't be illogical for a pullback to happen. Looking at the Qs, pretty much the same story. You can see it's on its ascending bullish pattern here. Not much of a pullback besides here on the 10th. And again, we broke through our target of 167.74. And again, to reiterate, not that it can't go higher, but we are through our targets. And the RSI and the stochastics, both are indicating overbought. MACD is still, upwards, bullish. And if you look also, I'm looking at a 3-year view here. If you can see where my mouse is, the last time we were as high as we are with the MACD was back in, let's see, November of 16, and we've exceeded that level now. So we're kind of in uncharted territory in terms of a MACD crossover in the last 3 years. The RSI is not as high as it's been, but it's very close to it. So again, not looking for any kind of crash or anything, but certainly a little bit of a pullback or sideways movement just to get these indicators reset and to get us into some new, fresh positions and ride that wave, which I expect to continue up in the intermediate to long term. So taking a look at holdings here. In the Apple calls, we had kind of a down flat day. The stock didn't really do too much. Disney's kind of meandering, just up a little bit there. Walmart also is meandering, and I already have a nice profit, so my stop is tight. WYNN had an incredibly great day today, gapped up and just kind of ran after that. I'll show you that chart. Citigroup, I'm up on a little bit. eBay is up, IWM is up, and McDonald's was flat. So let me go ahead and jump into some of these stocks and give you a quick analysis. So Apple kind of came back today and retested our breakout level of 176.34. We kind of closed on the 8 EMA. MACD is still bullish, although as you can see, it's starting to turn over. The Stokes are starting to turn over, and the RSI is kind of pointing downward. Now this could just be a flagging pattern. We could see a strong bullish candle tomorrow. If we don't, I am personally going to get out of the trade. I could let it breathe, and we may run up after tomorrow, even if we don't have an up day. But I'm looking for a nice strong candle tomorrow to stay in the trade. Otherwise, I'm planning on getting out. Taking a look at Disney. Didn't really do too much today. It did it closed above our ascending trend line, I guess, bottom channeled line. Not that there's exactly a top channel, or at least I haven't drawn it, but we're still above this trend line, which is good. Um, I'll be holding on a little bit longer just to see what happens, but earnings is coming up, so once we're a day or two before earnings, I'll probably close that position. Um, Taking a look at Citigroup. Kind of had a small bullish candle. The moving averages are pointing upwards. We're starting to form a little trend line here. We haven't reached our target, so I definitely see some room left in Citi. The Stokes are a little overbought. RSI is getting into the overbought territory, but MACD is pointing upward. I would have minded a little more volume here today, but overall I think it's in a healthy state. Citigroup is. So I would definitely will continue to hold my position and see where Citi goes. eBay had a nice recovery day today after yesterday's down day. Big strong bullish candle. We actually closed right at the gap. Now remember what I said, gaps tend to fill and they act as resistance. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow what eBay does. We're kind of at a crossroads here. Either we kind of burst through here and maybe test our breakout level of 40.12, or will the candle, the gap will act as resistance and we'll kind of retrace back here. I'm hoping that we'll go and test the breakout level of 40, but we'll see what tomorrow does. But so far so good on eBay. What's next? IWM. IWM had a nice day today as well. We are through our first target of 158.28, and our second target is 162.09. I don't see any reason why the IWM won't continue, although if you notice the volume was actually very low compared to, say, the SPY or the Qs. Their volume was a little higher, closer to the average. So I'm still confident in this trade, but the lack of volume is a little concerning. So we'll certainly keep an eye on it. Maybe put a stop below the low of today's candle, but I think we do have a good opportunity to run up and at least test that 162 level. Next is McDonald's. Truly not much to say. It had a small candle. It was up a little bit earlier in the day, kind of came back and closed above our breakout level. So nothing too exciting here. The MACD is still bullish. So I definitely think we have an opportunity to run here on McDonald's before earnings. Walmart, as I said, kind of had a small bullish candle today. I like the price action better than the last 2 days. But again, my stop is going to be at the low of these three candles essentially, which is basically at target 103.85. But I do think we have an opportunity to get up to our higher target of 108.69. So looking for to continue to hold on to Walmart and see it run up. Now WYNN, excuse me, had a huge gap up today. Kind of pulled back a little bit, tested, and then just went wild for the rest of the day. Truthfully, I get out right at the open when I saw it gap up and it closed above my second target. I just wanted to, get my earnings and be out of there. So I'm very happy. I was up over 130% on that trade. Quite the successful trade. Volume was strong here. I truly don't know what the catalyst was. I don't believe it was earnings. RSI was extremely overbought now. The MACD is kind of hyperbolic. The Stokes are in the oversold territory. So, I'm not going to predict doom or gloom, but when things start going hyperbolic like this, it's a little concerning. But there's no reason why this can't move a little sideways and then continue on upward. But I'd be looking for, excuse me, maybe a little pullback, before redrawing fibs on here and seeing where the next target could be. But For now, I'm out of the trade. Had a great return on it, so I'm pretty happy with my position there in that trade. So looking at a couple of setups for tomorrow, FCX, one of the ones we looked at yesterday, kind of testing that 100, that breakout level of $20. It kind of went above it slightly today, and then it ultimately closed below it. So would not enter the trade as of yet. I definitely want to see a strong close above this level. But if we do close above it, we can see a price target all the way up to 24 potentially. So low risk and high reward here.